What's up, guys? It's Master Joda here, back again with another Clash Royale video. In this video, we're going to be playing just a disgusting ELIXIR Golem deck. This deck is pretty much the easiest deck to play in the game, maybe even of all time in Clash Royale. This is early season ladder pushing. We're top 5,000 with this deck. It's a very fun deck if you're playing it, very not fun if you're playing against it. You will make a lot of people rage, probably even smash their phones into the ground. But let's just go ahead and get into the gameplay. There's not going to be a lot of tact or explaining strategy in this video. You'll see why in a minute. And let's just go ahead and get into some of the gameplay. So getting into this first matchup, we're facing just the typical P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam, solid deck, but this is not going to be a tough matchup for the deck that we're playing, guys. Pretty much with this deck, honestly, I'm not afraid to play it aggressively in any time during the game. I'll play it aggressive single elixir, and especially aggressive in double elixir, but pretty much starting play, just going to go with that elixir golem in the back and just build up a huge push behind it and see where it goes from there. You're going to want that battle healer behind the elixir golem in a lot of these pushes to heal up the whatever troops are in your push and the elixir golem. And just look at this, guys. I mean, we place the elixir golem in the back. We place the elite barbarians. We place the healer, and we rage everything up. I mean, just look at that. I mean, this is a player that is in the mid 6,000 trophy range. And we just beat him in under a minute. We 3-crowned him in under a minute. If that's not ridiculous, then I just don't know what is. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. The easiest game, one of the easiest games I've ever played, and against a pretty good player too, with a meta deck. So I mean, this deck is just shows how strong and insane this deck is, and how great these cards synergize together. So let's just go ahead and get into the second game. So in this matchup here, it looks like we're going to be facing a Golem deck, Golem Lightning. Our opponent giving us a little friendly BM at the start of the game. That's totally fine. He's about to not be so happy after he sees what we're playing. I throw out the good game, because we're playing Elixir Golem, Battle Healer, E-Barbs. So I know it's going to be a GG's for me, and he's gonna start off with a pretty aggressive lightning on our E-Dragon. Sorry about that. And we're just gonna go ahead and start with a push. We got the battle healer coming, and he's giving us applause. Thanks for that, I guess. And we're gonna go ahead and just kind of cancel each other's troops out, filling out each other's decks. He sees that we're playing Elixir Golem deck, and he doesn't seem to be too happy about it, and I can see why. So let's see what happens. Pretty much, just like I said, I'm not scared to go ahead and play that Elixir Golem in the back, build up a massive battle healer, E-Barb push with it, and just rinse and repeat. You throw the heal spirit down and try and heal up all the troops as well, and of course you're going to want those troops to be raged all together. And it's just crazy synergy, guys. I mean, just check out how fast this golem gets melted here. I almost took out his golem faster than his troops took out my elixir golem. And, I mean, that is just insane, the amount of damage output that this deck has. Just pretty much no skill at all involved. I mean, there's always some skill involved in decks, but this is about as low skill as it gets. So if you're, just trophy pushing early on in the season, trying to get some crowns for the battle pass or something, or you're just trying to have fun and make your opponent never play the game again, this is definitely the deck for you, and definitely the deck that you're going to want to play. But if you're going to try and play the game with any skill or tact at all, you're not going to want to play a deck like this. As you can see from this video, there's just no skill involved. You just start your elixir in the back, and build up a huge push behind it, and I mean, that's pretty much GG's. And then once you get to double elixir time, as you can just see, you can cycle back to another elixir golem, go in the opposite lane, and then just with all the skill and tact in the world, just keep dropping troops, drop E-Barb, drop battle healer, blah 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 blah. As you can see, a lot of skill involved in that 3-crown right there. Just all that, those micro interactions, all that skill right there that you see in that video. Just insane, guys. Insane skill that it takes to play this deck. People that play Elixir Golem as their main deck are just the most skilled people in the game, as you can see. So let's go ahead and get into this next game, guys. So getting into this next matchup, looks like we're going to be playing a pretty similar deck. Going to be facing Golem again. And in most Golem matchups, guys, I'd say you have the advantage. They can outplay you in some situations. I guess that falls, that goes for any deck that you're going to be playing against. Pretty much Elixir Golem is kind of like flipping a coin and just hoping for the best. It doesn't really matter how you play the deck, as long as you just have a little bit of brain power that goes into it. You're probably going to win 60% of your matches, which is a pretty good win percentage. That's why these decks are so aggravating. It's all pretty much matchup dependent. It doesn't really matter how you play the deck. That's why Elixir Golem is so busted with Battle Healer. I mean, just look at that. I defended his push pretty easily. And then you just drop the 3 Elixir Golem in front of your push, in front of your counter push. And I mean, that's all she wrote. There's no way he can defend that in single Elixir with, no Elixir in his hand. Just all that health that the Elixir Golem has, and for only 3 Elixir, it's just a busted card. I think it's been a busted card since this came out. But, yeah, that's just my opinion on it. If you main these decks, I don't have a lot of respect for you as a player. But, anyways, I mean, they can be fun, just to troll around with every now and then and just have a little bit of fun. But I would never actually main with this deck or make it my main deck, because there's just pretty much no skill involved, guys. Let's see what happens here. He's got the Golem. I kind of went with a pretty aggressive counter push in the right hand, but it didn't work out for me. He had a pretty good answer for it, and now it looks like he will take that left-hand tower. But let's see how I respond here. Just going to throw a E-Dragon in the back to defend that lightly. He has a pretty aggressive lightning, and I just ignore his push right here. You'll do that a lot in these matchups, guys. With a lot of beatdown, but especially Elixir Golem, you don't really care about your towers, because these decks are so strong at 3 crowning people. I mean, look at this. I get a good arrow value there. I build up the E-Golem push in the back, and then by the time my push makes it across the bridge, I can spam a second E-Golem in the pocket with a Battle Healer and rage it all up, arrows, and I mean, look at that. I mean, there's no tact involved in that at all, and I melt his tower down to 117 health. He only has 8 seconds left. I'm going to drop an E-Golem there to soak up all that mini peck of damage that he's putting out. And when the match finishes, I cycle back to my arrows to finish off his tower, and that's GG's. I mean, there was just no skill involved at all in that last push, and I won the game. And guys, these are not scrubs. I mean, they're not the best players in the world. This is early season ladder, but they're definitely not scrubs. They're solid players, and there's just nothing they can do in these situations just because of how broken the Elixir Golem and Battle Healer combination is. So getting into this last match, it looks like we're going to be facing a minor cycle Rocket deck. Rocket is kind of a good counter to Elixir Golem just because they can get so much value, because in a lot of the situations when you're playing Elixir Golem, you're going to be building huge, massive one-lane pushes so they can get, 10 to 15 Elixir worth of value out of one Rocket and just really destroy your pushes if they play it right. But unfortunately, this guy goes with a super aggressive Rocket log at the start of the game. And as you'll see, guys, I mean, I have a 4 Elixir lead with Elixir Golem. And if you're playing against Elixir Golem, you do not want to get down Elixir, especially when it comes to single Elixir time, because you're just not going to have enough Elixir to defend these pushes. I don't care how good at the game you are. If you get behind Elixir versus an Elixir Golem player or an Elixir Golem deck, you're just going to get overwhelmed. You're not going to have there's no way you're going to have enough elixir in your hand to answer a pretty much 3 elixir golem, that 3 elixir card that has just as much health as a 8 elixir card. You're not going to have the amount of elixir in your hand to answer that. And as you can see here, it's pretty much already GG's at this point. I mean, you can see the opponent, he starts emoting. He's already pretty much given up at this point, just dropping cards, trying to scrap together some sort of defense, but it's kind of sad to see. Hit him with a skill play, Elixir Golem in the pocket once he already had an Elixir Golem on his King Tower. And, I mean, this is just insane, guys. He throws the rocket in the corner. I guess that's going to be the end of that one. I'm just shaking my head. I completely understand his pain. I've been in his situation where you can't do anything against decks like these. It's just the worst feeling in the world, guys, if you've been on the receiving end of this. And that's the thing about these Elixir Golem decks, guys. This guy's probably a pretty solid player. But when you're playing decks like these that just have an insane synergy, like Battle Healer and E-Barbs and Elixir Golem and all the other nonsensical cards in this deck, Rage, Heal Spirit, cards like that, if you just throw them all in a deck like this and watch them, just watch them destroy opponents, I mean, it's pretty much like flipping a coin. If you face an opponent that has a lot of counters to this deck that you're playing, if you play this Elixir Golem deck, and if the opponent is good and he has counters, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get smashed. And that's just because of the nature of the deck. Either this deck is going to absolutely destroy your opponent in one huge push, like you just saw me do to that guy, or your opponent is going to be able to defend very efficiently with something like Rocket or Valkyrie. He's going to get a huge elixir advantage early on, and he's just going to absolutely destroy you. And that's just the funny thing about playing this deck. It's like flipping a coin. Either you're just going to 3-crown smash your opponent, or it's going to happen to you. There's pretty much no in between. There's not a lot of close, good games with this deck. You will find an occasional one that goes the distance, but most of the time, you're going to 3-crown your opponent, or you're going to get utterly destroyed because he's just going to have a good counter, and he's going to be a solid player that knows how to counter Elixir Golem. And, yeah, guys, that's pretty much all that goes into this deck. If you want to have some fun with it, I will leave the deck link in the description below for you guys so you can try it out for yourselves. Again, I would not suggest making this your main deck or your main play strategy. It is a no-skill strategy and requires pretty much no thought process at all to play this kind of deck, or other Elixir Golem decks that you might find in the meta. But you will find, the people on top ladder that play decks like this and, get lucky with good matchups and just smash their opponents and end up with a good ranking in top ladder. And that is unfortunate that this can happen with the no-skill decks like this, but it is the nature of the beast. So, I mean, who knows, maybe you'll enjoy this deck a lot and find a lot of good success and good luck with it, and be able to push some pretty high trophies. But if you actually want to play the game with a lot of thought process and skill involved, then this is not the deck for you. But, it's good to have fun every once in a while, make your opponent rage, because it will happen to you, and you're going to want to take that revenge out on another poor soul that runs into you playing this deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Please hit the like button, subscribe, please. It helps me out a lot, guys. I'm trying to get this channel started, putting a lot of time into it, trying to make it cool. Just learning a lot about editing videos and stuff like that, and I want to start doing a lot more cool stuff. And the more support I get, the more motivation it gets to make these videos better, guys. If you didn't like any of the content that you saw, please comment below and just give me some ideas that you think could have made the video a lot better, and I'll be sure to try and implement that into the next videos to come. And until then, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thanks.